Ating past president ng Philippine Bar Association at chairman ng Movement Against Disinformation on Zoom, Attorney Rico Domingo. Attorney, good morning!
Good morning! Good morning.
Ayan, si
Good
Attorney.
to see you again.
Kala ko dito ulit sa
Hi,
studio si
Peter.
Attorney.
Good morning also.
Hi, attorney. Siya ang ating SSME.
Ano yan, super?
Hindi. Suking subject matter expert.
Super subject matter expert.
Yan. Basta't may hearing.
Oo, correct tayo din. Kaya attorney tayo.
Naka-report agad. Attorney Rico, thank you very much. So, could this be the day na magkakaroon, sabi nga nila, ng inflection point dito sa pagdinig ng Justice Committee? Or did we actually have that inflection point during the Madriaga testimonies?
Magkakasama yan, no? Hindi lang isang inflection point, no? Marami tayong nalilikop ng mga ebidensya, and this probably will give the final phase of the investigation, no? So meron tayo ngayon yata, ang sabi ng committee chairman ng Committee on Justice, meron daw silang pinauunlakan na AMLC, Chair, SEC, BIR, at saka ang si Mr. Trillanes, no? At he will be expected to testify on what he knew about Madriaga and other matters concerning the alleged ill-gotten wealth of the respondent, VP Sara. So this will eventually wind up everything, except of course the last phase about the threat against the president, the first lady, and the Speaker Romualdez would be on the 29th of April. That will really wind up everything, and the Committee on Justice will be ready to file the corresponding resolution with the House and for the approval or rejection of the panel of the plenary House.
Mamaya po, attorney, no, mabibigat yung mga ilalabas na mga dokumento. BIR, SALN, AMLAC, lahat po yan ay...
Alphabet soup nga.
Iba-ibang mga,
BIR, ITR, SALN, SEC, AMLC.
Diba? Dahil pati business nila ay titignan, di po ba, Attorney Rico?
Yes, pati businesses. At saka marami yata nakikitang inconsistencies sa entries sa GIS, sa SEC, as well as the corporate interest of the respondent.
Opo, pero paano po ba mangyayari ang usapin dito? Dahil hindi naman po ito hearing talaga para to prove guilt, di po ba? Kundi titignan lamang kung merong probable cause na ituloy talaga natin. So kung titignan po natin ang mga financial documents, ano po ang ating dapat silipin dito?
Ang sisilipin natin dito would be the amassing and the accumulation of alleged ill-gotten wealth. No? Makikita yan sa SALN na she should have actually filed and under verified and notarized form. She should have filed that during the relevant period. At makikita nila kung merong really accumulation and the acquisition of wealth and other assets that are not commensurate to the compensation that she is receiving as vice president. And of course, the spouse as well. So makikita lahat sa SALN yan na dapat yan pinafile every April of every month, every year. And therefore, makikita ng mga hearing investigators yan.
Opo. Isa po dun sa mga tinitignan ay yung pagiging o hindi pagiging stockholder ng Vice Presidente doon sa isa pong kumpanya, no, na kanyang pag-aari po ba ito nila mag-asawa. Napakalaking factor po ba nun na yung there are two documents saying that one she is a stockholder and the other nawala doon yung kanyang pangalan?
So, malaking bagay po yan because it's perjurious yan pang hindi totoo. No? Parehong under oath po yung dalawang documentation na yan. Yung general information sheet na pinafile ng corporation, I think the pangalan niya ng isang corporation si GenCorp, no? Ang pinafile nila is under oath, no? Pati financial statements under oath yan. Fa-file yan annually sa Securities and Exchange Commission as what we call GIS, General Information Sheet, no? Ngayon, yung sinasabi sa I'm sorry, sa SALN, dapat mapakita na rin yun at tugma ang sinabi niya sa GIS sa SEC at tugma yan sa sinabi niya sa SALN, which is the assets and liabilities and net worth of the respondent vice president. So dapat nagtutugma yan. Kung magkaiba yan, dapat yan pinapaliwanag ng VP President at malaman niya kung bakit ganun ang may discrepancy. Sabi sa isa sa GIS, wala naman siya sa stockholders list. Doon naman sa SALN, meron naman GenCorp. So pakikita yan. Now, unfortunately, the VP had declined to appear and explain such things. No, those things should have been explained and clarified.
Okay. Attorney Rico, alin ang mas mabigat sa inyong pagtaya, ano po? Yun bang paggasta na walang basihan dun sa confidential and intelligence fund, or in this particular case yung mali ang final na SALN? Which one would have more weight in terms of determining a quote-unquote probable cause?
Well, we have to remember na tatlo po ang articles na tinutuhog ng Committee on Justice. No? Yung una would be about the so-called confidential funds. Number 2 would be yung illegal acquisition of wealth. And number 3 would be yung alleged attack or alleged threat against the life of the personages that I mentioned earlier. So, tigi-tigi sa po yun. So, probable cause ng article number 1 would be about the confidential funds. Number 2 would be the amassing and illegal wealth. So, they have to explain that as an article 2. And Article 3 would be the threat against the life of President and the First Lady and the Speaker, the former Speaker. So yung mga yon, independently, they have to prove the probable cause in every separate article that we had mentioned, 1, 2, 3.
Pero hindi ibig pong sabihin na, dapat 3 out of 3 yan, ha? O pwede bang 2 out of 3 lang?
Pwede bang isa lang kahit ganun?
Well, if they are not able to prove probable cause dun sa any of those articles that I mentioned, the 3 of them, then hindi nila ipa-file yan sa Senate.
Okay. Pero dadaan pa rin sa plenary, in other words.
Tataan pa rin po yan sa plenary, and the plenary can override, as I mentioned in our last interview, they can override that with a 1/3 vote na gusto na rin ng plenary na i-file pa rin yun.
Opo.
Na hindi pinasabi ng Committee on Justice na i-file sa Senate.
Opo.
Assuming there is one.
Opo.
But I can somehow see, just to complete my thought, no, I can see that all 3 would be substantiated and the establishment of probable cause can be reached.
Opo. What's gonna happen doon po sa TRO na hinihingi ni Attorney Manscarpio kung ipapakita naman po mamaya yung mga SEC documents?
Na likop na po ng committee yan, na submit niyan, sabi po ng isang very active representative, Ridon, nalikop na po yan at sinabi rin ng committee chairman na nasa kanila na yung SALN at saka yung mga dokumentong hinihingi nila. So yung final sa RTC Quezon City, if I'm not mistaken, nung spouse ng VP ay naging moot and academic na po kasi nandiyan na po yan. You cannot TRO, you cannot apply for a temporary restraining order on something that is already been done and completed. So wala na po yun. Moot and academic na po yung RTC Quezon City petition ni Mr. Carpio.
Opo. Yung mga SALN po na makikita natin mamaya ay hanggang 2024 lamang po ba? Tama po ba yun, Attorney? Hindi po ba kasama itong mga nakaraang taon?
Meron yata silang relevant period na kanilang tinutuhog at tinutukoy. At yun yata ang gagawin nilang basis for their articles of impeachment. So, I cannot second guess the committee, but nonetheless, it would seem that the relevant period will be what you just mentioned, no? So, yung mga period na yun. But in any event, ngayon, April na, no? Ang SALN, all of the officials who are covered by the SALN Act, no? Dapat niya nag-file na rin sila ngayon. sa April. Malapit nung matapos ang April,
yeah,
dapat
yeah.
nag-file na sila ng bagong SALN
Okay.
for 2026
Okay.
or 25 rather.
Attorney Rico, sabi po ni Senate President Tito Soto, the Senate may convene on May 4 for the Duterte impeachment upon transmittal. Ano po, how do you interpret this? I mean, personally, ano po ang significance ng pahayag na ito ni Senate President Soto?
Si Senate President was very careful in saying na they can convene and forthwith accept the articles of impeachment, sabi niya, assuming na ipa-file. So he was very careful along that line. In fact, he was setting already the agenda. Di ba? Meron na siyang timeline, no? Na sinabi sa kanyang press release, ang kanyang press conference. So in other words, it was seen that the signal is that there would be filing of the articles of impeachment with the Senate. And sabi nga ni Senate President, tatanggapin ko yon and I will set it for hearing and submit it to the rules, the committee rules on rules, at yan ay lilitisin na ng Senate.
So it's just
Sa May 4 upon receipt or thereafter, shortly thereafter.
Yeah. But it's also a statement, I guess, no, na parang sinasabi niya na hindi kami magmumukhang 19th Congress dahil nga sabi niya, I will act on it with dispatch, definitely forthwith, end of quote.
Forthwith. Our favorite term is forthwith, no? So kaya itong ating Senate President, unlike the previous one, the predecessor, mukha determined dyan to abide by the constitutional mandate.
Mhm. Attorney, ano pong inaabangan ninyong makikita mamaya sa gaganaping hearing?
It will be probably very straightforward, except of course the testimony of Mr. Trillanes. Ano mo, si Mr. Trillanes titingnan din niya ang relevance ng ginawa ni Mr. Madriaga as well as what he knew personally in the context of this impeachment proceedings. No? Ang point ka lang dito is sana at the end of the day, dapat mag-file na po ng report ang Committee on Justice para mawala na yung lahat ng speculations. Nandiyan na po lahat. The goods are there. The ducks are already lined up. So dapat yan, i-file na po yung recommendation.
So meron pa po tayong magiging isa pang hearing after nito, no, sa susunod na linggo. Mabigat din po yan dahil yun naman sa threat to the life of the president at ng kanyang may bahay at ni former Speaker Romualdez. Yun naman po pang next week pa. Pero sa tingin niyo po ba, yan din po ay madami rin po tayo mga dapat ungkatin pagdating po sa susunod na linggo?
Well, the videotape or the video account of the threat, the alleged threat, very, very self-explanatory po naman yan. Under the digital act, no? Pwede po naman mag-prove yan even. Basta lang ipoprove lang yan pursuant to the evidentiary rule of the rules of court which has suppletory applications sa Senate, no? At saka sa House. So in other words, madali lang po yan. It can be a summary presentation. Magsasabi lang yan, sino ba nag-download ng video na yan, the alleged video ni VP. And ma-authenticate lang po yun at somebody can attest to the fact na na-download yan at yan already admissible in evidence.
Ayun. So, Attorney Rico, making the rounds of social media, yung ginawa ni Congressman Percy Sendanya na nag-deposit di umano sa joint account nina Rodrigo Duterte at saka Sara Duterte. As an marginal, alam ko yung bangko dito dito sa ABS-CBN yung bangko. Opo. Does that mean anything? Is that a compelling pinasok daw dineposito, tinanggap the account is existing, di ba? So what does it say about on the surface, ano pong ibig sabihin nun?
That would be a very good way of determining who are the depositors, no? Who are the account owners. No? So maganda po yun. That's a very common technique to find out who would be short of, because meron po tayong Bank Secrecy Act, no? Ang ginagawa po ng mga investigators dyan, private and public, nagdideposito sila ng 100 pesos. Paglabas, malalaman kung sino ang deposito. Ginawa po yata yan ni Representative Sendanya. So that's a very easy and common technique. So that will show only that ang owner, ang depositor would be that person that would be reflected in the printout. May printout po yun eh. No?
Hindi naman sinasabi dun kung ano yung existing balance.
Hindi
Available
naman malalaman.
balance. Wala naman.
Hindi po sasabihin yun. Pero magtutugma yung account number.
Yeah.
Di po ba? Magtutugma at ang pangalan.
Oo, yun nga.
Attorney Rico, maraming salamat po. As always, we enjoy every minute na kausap namin kayo, sir.
Thank you, Attorney.
Likewise. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you, Pa. We'll see you
Okay.
soon. Ayan, si Attorney Rico Domingo joining us on the line. Talon po tayo dahil nakikita na po natin on the screen na dumating na po si Ombudsman Boying Remulla. Nandun na rin po si